Hey gamers! So today we are going to be talking about Telltale Games The Walking Dead episodes 1 through 3. Specifically we're going to be talking about non-player characters, and the first thing that I want to address is I read an article from Catherine Isbister. And in the article, she said this. She said, in real life, consistency in nonverbal cues is associated with honesty and trustworthiness. It is amazing that these sorts of responses hold true for engaging with virtual humans as well. So basically what she's saying is that, like, in real life, when people's demeanor and nonverbal and verbal cues match up, we associate that with trustworthiness and honesty. And in a study that they did, they found that it was similar in gameplay as well. So it was really interesting to see that in real life and in games, it's the same, which I kind of saw in The Walking Dead because, Clementine is, nice, and she's not a very aggressive character, and I gravitated towards her, same as I did Kenny. Kenny was very straightforward. He was always very open-minded in his demeanor and his verbal interactions. And the same with Larry, actually. Even though I didn't like Larry, he was still a part of the group, and I still trusted him because of the way that he acted and responded to things. Another thing is that the gameplay is really driven by interactions. I at least felt that my gameplay was really driven by interactions, specifically because of Clementine, because I felt like I needed to be a sort of father figure to her. So all of my decisions were like, oh, is this going to impact Clementine? Is this going to make her not trust me or be afraid of me? Because I didn't want that to affect our relationship. So I felt like that kind of steered my whole experience of the game thus far with decision making, is that it's mostly based on Clementine and her opinions of my choices. Like, we came to the car at the end of or in like chapter 3 or at the end of chapter 2, and she was like, oh, it's not right to steal from the car because it could be someone else's. So I didn't, because I didn't want her to be upset with me, and I didn't want her to not trust me, even though there was things in there that we needed. Another thing is overall relationships with characters in the story. So I had a relationship with Larry, and I decided to save Duck instead of Herschel's son. And at one point I was struggling during the game, so I looked up some help, and I discovered that no matter if you try to save Herschel's son or Duck, Herschel's son dies anyway. So it steered my game in a way that Kenny saw me in a better light, but it wouldn't have impacted anything if I chose the other choice. But I feel like the relationships that you build with the characters in the game do overall impact your personal game experience, because your relationship with the other characters in the game impact your choices overall. So that's basically what I thought about The Walking Dead Season 1, Episodes 1 through 3, for that whole experience, and the NPCs as well. Next video I will be discussing Season 1, Episodes 4 and 5, so make sure you check in and check that out. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.